What's up, guys? It's here, Last again, and I just want to just talk about before the time that I got baptized and before the time that I surrendered, and when I started feeling like God was calling me, and the actual day that I felt like God was calling me, because that day I could never forget that I was really going through really, really bad anxiety. I was, that day, everything was cloudy. It was one of these days that, it was really just cloudy. I was under the influence. I was under marijuana. I was high. And all I remember was that I was with one of my friends and my brother, and we were all watching TV. And we were just having, watching movies, and we were just enjoying that time. This was 2 weeks after I had already stopped drinking. And 2 to 3 weeks around there. But I do remember that it was one of those days that just was cloudy, and it was just a little strange. All of a sudden, the power goes out, and all I could remember was I was so under the influence that I used to smoke a lot of marijuana, and we were trying to find out the source of the why it was dark, everything just turned off. I was a little nervous that day. I was running through a lot of anxiety. I was looking around everyone in the living room, and we were having pizza, we were just having a good time watching movies. But I was wondering, I kept asking everyone, are you guys okay? How are you guys feeling? How are you guys feeling? But in reality, what I wanted someone at least to ask me in the room was, how are you doing, bro? How's everything, But I guess everyone was playing it cool. Everyone was like, everything's good. But let me get to that. And then the lights go out, and I start trying to find out what happened, how the lights go out, And I was so under the influence, like I said, that the whole time, like my brother said, whatever, he went to his room. I started having like this anxiety attack, like a panic attack. And I had them in the past, but this is one of the ones that hit me the most. And all of a sudden, I started drinking milk so I could make it go away. I don't know why. And I'm like, you know what? I started getting more panicked out. I started panicking more. So I'm like, I'm gonna just shower. And I just remember hopping in the shower, and I showered with the coldest water. I showered with cold water. And then I got out. I still wasn't feeling right. So I go to my room. I come here and I change up, and I'm just like, where's everyone at? The lights are out, and like no one seems to notice that everything. Like, where's everyone at? And I asked my brother, bro, like, what's going on? And I started panicking. For some reason, I started panicking. I started feeling my heart really racing, and that's when I told Angel, like, hey, bro, I don't feel so well. I'm gonna go to the ER. Like, something's weird. Something's going on. I don't feel so good. And I just remember that I look up in the sky, and at that very moment, I felt like I was gonna die. I don't know why. I feel like God
Between rent,
was
student loans, and
literally,
side hustles, that's exactly why I moved my money over to Cash App. I wanted to be more serious about setting up for my future, so I needed a place like.
um, God was, that was a commercial, by the way. I don't know. This just popped up. I don't know where. But I look up in the sky, and I see that I literally felt that God was calling me. He was calling me for some reason. Like, I felt like I was gonna die. So I told my mom, you know what? I start panicking. I tell my brother, hey, where's my mom? Call her. I don't feel so well. She was about to get off work, and I was going back and forth in and out of the house. I didn't know what to do. I felt like I was gonna die. And at that very moment, I just couldn't believe it. I just felt like I was just like anxious, really desperate for something that I felt like was gonna happen, but nothing was going on. And out of nowhere, Angel's like, my mom's on the way already. By the way, the lights were still off at this moment. Like the whole house, the lights were off, and it was just one of those strange days. And what I do remember is my mom got home, and she came to the front. My brother was starting to panic, and my brothers were starting to like, damn, what's going on with this guy, you know? And the guy that came, my friend, he was really tripping out. He was like, what's wrong with him, you know? Like, what's going on with him? And he didn't know. He started probably like, let me get to it. So what happened is I hop in the driver's seat, and I told my mom, I'm like, Mom, take me to the ER. I don't feel so good. I feel like I'm gonna die, Mom. And then I kept talking to my mom, and I was kind of just telling her now, and she started driving me to the ER. And then out of nowhere, like I start looking up at the skies, and I'm like, why? Out of all the days that I could die, why does it feel like I'm dying today? Like, why does it feel like God is trying to talk? Why does it feel like God is calling me? It feels like God is trying to take my soul, and it just feels like He was trying to take my something, you know? And I was telling my mom, like, Mom, my mom, like, I don't feel so good. I started crying to her. I hugged her, and she tells me, mijo, like, she's like, ¿qué te está pasando? She's like, ¿qué sientes? ¿Qué está pasando? I'm like, Ma, me siento como que me voy a morir. No me siento tan bien. And she's like, we're on the way to the ER, and I'm like, Ma, ayúdame, like, she's like, and I start hugging her, and she's driving, mind you. I'm like, Ma, I don't feel so good. And I start looking up, and I'm like, God, please, like, this is gonna be one of those days that I'm gonna see you. Like, I can't do nothing about it, you know? And I was just desperate, anxious, and I'm like, Mom, and then we get to the ER, and we get to the ER, and I hop out right to the front. I hop out, and I start running, you know? And I start filling up right away when I'm like, I need a doctor to see me. I need a doctor to see me. And they're like just looking at me crazy because I came out of nowhere, like, you know? And they were just like, oh, okay, take a seat, please fill that out. And I'm like, Ma, I really need a doctor to see me. I really need him to see me now. And the doctors were looking at me. I mean, the people in the front desk, they were looking at me crazy, like, what's wrong with this guy, you know? I was just having this really panic attack, but it was lasting for a long time. It was like an anxiety attack. And the security was like, sir, please take a seat, sir. And I was like, why aren't you guys helping me? I was looking at everyone. I was looking at the people that needed help, and I was just looking at everyone around. They were looking at me crazy. I was like, why aren't you guys helping me? I need help. Like, help me. And all I remember was, like, I just couldn't understand why no one could help me. And it really sucked. Like, it really got to me. I'm like, man, there's people all around, and no one's even saying, like, sir, are you okay? Like, I just thought that everyone was ignoring me at that moment. And I said, you know what? I took a deep breath. And then I went outside to where my mom was still in the front. She was still in the car. And I hopped right back in the car. And I'm like, Mom, they're not helping me. They don't want to help me. And she's like, I know, mijo. It's probably because they think you're, like, under the influence or something. I'm like, no, Mom. Like, I just don't feel good. I feel like God is calling me, you know? And I said, you know what, Mom? I'm walking home. And as I'm walking home, it was drizzling at this time. It was like water coming down. And my mom's like, I'm going to just follow you while you're going home. And I'm walking, I'm just getting home, and then I told him, just go home and I'll walk, you know? And I took a walk. I was breathing in and out. I think I needed that walk for me to realize this whole time I feel like God was trying to tell me something. He was trying to call me for something. And that's literally when I got home and I laid down. I'm like, I go to my brother's room because I didn't feel so good. So I go to my brother's room, and he was in the couch right there. He had his bed, but it was like a couch, and he was in the opposite side, and I laid down. I'm like, you know what? If I don't feel so good, I'm gonna just be with my brother right here. You know, we're cool like that. You know. And I laid down, and I just fall asleep for like 30 minutes. And by this time, I was already, you know, I was good already. By that time, I feel better, and I wake up. And when I wake up, I feel like this light shining on me, like like, you know, it just felt like I'm you might think I'm exaggerating or something, but it literally felt like it's like, and something went in me, in my heart, filled with joy and peace and just truth. And I start telling my brother, bro, I love it, bro. I don't want to stay like this. I want to make my family happy. I want to do something with my life. I want to stop drinking. I want to stop smoking. I want to do things right. I'm tired of doing the things wrong my whole entire life. And I just felt that feeling, you know. At that time, I didn't understand what I was going, but now I feel like it was the Holy Spirit coming in me and like me realizing. And I was speaking, I was crying to him, and he was kind of looking at me like, okay, bro, like, I see, like, you know, just confused, you know, a little bit. And I felt relieved to tell somebody that. I felt relieved that I told him all this, and I told him that what am I gonna do when I see God and I'm in front of him and I tell him what I did with my life and what have I done throughout my life. And honestly, I was like just thinking like, man, I haven't done nothing with my life, nothing good that I thought at that moment. But that's it. I'm putting a foot down. I'm gonna change for myself, and I'm gonna change for every just for everyone that I have hurt in the past and everything. And it was a great feeling. And from there on, I could say that from there on, truly, I decided to just keep not drinking. And after that, I was still smoking here and there, but I was already like to the ending of it. And that's one of my main encounters that I remember feeling that it was time, that God was calling me, and that He wanted me to walk in His path and truly surrender to Him. But I was going to church, but I wasn't really at that time. I hadn't really surrendered my life. That happened after happened a few weeks after that. But I do remember that my brother looked at me and he was just like, man, I feel you, bro. Like, I see, like, I'm tired too, bro, you know? He was understanding me. And it just felt good to relieve all that pain and all that I felt that I need to relieve. And yeah, I just wanted to talk to you guys about this and just a little story about my experience of when I felt that God, it was time that He was calling me. And this may happen to you one day, and it may happen to you in a different way. But I just want to share my testimony and my story of how it happened to me. And that's just one of the stories out of the many that I have. And you know, I'm gonna be telling my stories and telling my testimony and my experiences. I'm not perfect, and I'm not trying to be perfect. I made so many mistakes, and I've done so many things wrong in my life. I've been in and out of prison. I've been in and out of just jail, and it hasn't been good. You know, I've hurt so many people, and I've been living in sin my whole life. I'm 28, and I just think that it was time when God was calling me to give up my life to Him. And yeah, guys, I just wanted to tell you guys about that story, and hopefully you guys hear this one day. I love you guys, and I'm not looking to compete with anyone. I'm not looking to be right. I just want to share my experience, and I want to show love to everyone and respect, because everyone deserves it. It's not the healthy that need a doctor, but the sick. And I just think that really hit to me. Conviction is the beginning of change. When you start feeling convicted from right and wrong, it's when God is starting to work in you, and the Holy Spirit. And that's what my perspective of what I think is. And I just hope you guys see this video. I love you guys, and I hope you guys really like this video, and you guys could relate. You guys have an amazing day. Late.